Hello everybody, welcome back to the channel. Nice to see you again. Today I've been to a fish auction. So I've made a few videos about fish auctions in the past, and they can be great places to pick up some real bargains and absolute steals. And my top tips for going to a fish auction is just research as much as you can your local fish club. Get on Facebook, get on all the forums and groups, ask people where is my local fish club if you don't know any better. But many of them have auctions regularly. Mine is the Sheaf Valley Aquarium Society, and it has a few. The big one was today, at the end of April. But yeah, you can ask along. Any club that does an auction, where else does auctions, there's a kind of a circuit that people can go on. And you can find out more about it, when to get there, what to bring, any requirements there are. My top tips are make sure you know what you want before you go. So plan in advance. Think about the fish you actually want so you don't get swept away once you get there with the excitement of the auction. Think about planning tank space. Have you got appropriate places to put everything? And make sure you set your budget and you stick to it. I found out the auction was on this morning by noticing a post on Facebook, went along with no idea what I wanted and might have overspent. That's not quite true. So I knew I wanted to set these 3 tanks up here as shrimp tanks, so I set them up a while ago. Was thinking about getting some shrimp. So when I saw the auction was on, I don't know how I missed that it was on, but when I saw it was on, I thought, great, that's a great place to get some cheap shrimp. I don't want any fancy show winning stuff. I just like little shrimp tanks. We'll get some fish, maybe some corridoras, and that was it. That's all I was interested in. So now let's have a look and see how I did and what I actually got. In no particular order. We'll start off with a bag of Ruka. Not bad, £1 I paid for that. So we'll use that in the shrimp tanks. It's just like a floating plant, propagates really well. I've not had it for a while actually, so I was glad to see that. I think maybe £1.50, I can't remember exactly how much I paid for that. We'll do all the plants first, because there's not that many. I got a bag of pennywort, again for £1, that'll be fine. And I think that was it, plant-wise. So let's now look at some of the shrimp. So in here, all sorts of things going on in here. 6 yellow fire shrimp. I'll show you them now, but I'll hopefully cut in at the same time some pictures once they're in and settled. But there's some shrimplets, or are they scuds? What's that going on in there? There's other life in there. So yellow shrimp we're going to have up here. I think I paid for 6 yellow shrimp. I think that was like £4. Another 6, giving me 12. And then I've got some red rilly shrimp. 10 of these for £7. Bargain. And I did actually pay £7 for these. Nobody really wanted them, so I didn't have to bid for anyone. They're a little bit discoloured in the bag, but they'll soon colour up. So I think we'll put the rilly shrimp in the middle. Yeah, so another 10, another £7. Giving me 20, which should be a nice little colony to get started. And then I've got a few bags of these red cherry shrimp. I think there's meant to be 6 in a bag, something like that. Which they're pretty bright, given they just come straight out of a box. So quite happy with them. A few shrimplets in there as well. I don't know if you can see that through the bag. Another 10 red cherry shrimp of varying sizes. And was that it for the shrimp? I'm sure I've got more shrimp. Another 10 red cherry shrimp. And this is something to go with the shrimp. Not to go with them, but they will go with them for a time anyway. We've got a pair of LT grey endlers, which are very, very small. I'm assuming this is a pair as in there's 2 of them rather than a pair, because they're so small you probably can't even see them. But we'll get them in with the oranges. The oranges, I wasn't very happy with the quality of the oranges, so I kind of, there's another pair of LT grey endlers. Put them in there as well. They didn't look very orange or good. So I also got these black cherry shrimp, which were an £8 reserve, so I think I'll put these in with the oranges, and we'll have oranges and blacks. I know that will end up with some kind of skittles if they start to breed, but this is just for enjoyment. This isn't a breeding program. The layer can go in there. And I think that's it for shrimp. Here's my first impulse buy that I did not plan on buying. We have a tiger Oscar. £3. So I bought 3 of them. There were only 3, but 3 tiger Oscars for £3. You can't complain at that. So these are going to go in mega tank eventually, but they'll go in the grow out tank for now and get big, which shouldn't take long. Oscars are well known for their speed of growing up. They don't mess around. Right, now what will we go here? We've got 2 long fin lemon blue eye bristlenose. Quite small, if you can see them there. But cool looking. You can already start to see the long finness of them. £6. Happy with that. I'm going to play. Oh, there's a few plecos. They're all going to go in the same tank at the moment until I move them around. I'm venturing into the world of L numbers. So we've got an L333 King Tiger pleco, which is down there. Again, really small, but reserved £10, paid £10. Already really good markings, really nice shape. Happy with that. We've got an L183 Starlight pleco. Around about the same size. You're not going to be able to tell much from that, but again, £10. Pay more than that in a shop. An L400 Belo Monte pleco. I'll just have to take my word for it. Oh no, it's there. Must admit, I'd never heard of an L400 Belo Monte, but there you go. I think it says £10 on there, but I'm sure I paid £8 for this one. Finally, 2 short fin calico bristlenoses. Just down there, £4, £2 a fish. Not too bad. Orange Venezuelan Corridorus, which might be struggling to see. 2 of them, £5. So I got 2 bags. And they'll go in that one as well. And that's it. I went for shrimp. I got shrimp, but I also got a load of plecos, a few corridoras, and some Oscars, and a couple of plants. Bonus. So I'm going to get all these in tanks and then we'll show you them in a little bit more detail. So as we wait for them to acclimatise or acclimate, depending where you come from, the auction itself, really good, really busy. I got there a little bit late because I had stuff going on, and it was already rammed, difficult to find a seat, but they were already well underway. There was loads of people, loads of bids flying in everywhere, and even though there was lots of bidding, there was still a lot of cheap fish compared to what you pay in the shops. There were, however, some things that weren't cheap. For instance, there were some tiger barbs going that ended up being not quite twice the price you'd pay in the shop, but a lot more. That I've just bought some tiger barbs recently for a future video, and these ones were way more expensive. There was some cherry shrimp that were a lot more expensive. There were some fairly regular, plain old bronze corridoras, plain old brown bristlenoses, that some lots were going for like £1 or £2, and some were going for £5 or £6, and I couldn't quite get a hand on that. So that's why I say make sure you set a budget for whatever fish you want to do. Don't be afraid to take a phone with you so you can look things up. I don't know why more people don't do that. But yeah, like I say, it was really well attended and did pretty well. They had also changed the rules. So if you've watched any of my previous auction videos, I've always thought they do things a bit weird where, let's say for instance, they are selling some neon tetras, 5 in a bag, and you bid up £1, £2, £3, whatever. So £5 would be the winning bid. You go, how many do you want? We've got 10 bags. And I say, I'll have 2, so that means they've got 8 bags left over. So they go to the person behind you in the bidding war, and they get to pay whatever they bid until they get rid of all the bags. So there was a chance, if you had only bid £2 for a bag of 5 fish, but nobody else wanted them, you would get them for £2. So the person that ended up paying like 3 or 4 times that would be a bit like, that is no more. Now, I don't think it's because I made a video about this doing that, but I'm sure they've had discussions about it and the best way to do it. So what happens now is, whatever the final bid is, so if that final bid was £10 for a bag, and they don't want them all, then they just offer it to anyone for £10 a bag. There's no drop in price, which I think is fairer for the sellers. But as a buyer, I was a bit like, oh, I'm not going to get any Uber bargains this time by waiting for it. But I think it's fairer, and I think that works out better overall for the majority of people. There was a few times where, I mean, if you can play it, you can see what's going on. You'll often see them sorting out bags of fish, and you'll see them pulling out like 8, 9, 10 bags of fish, going, yeah, these are all the same ones, and then they'll offer them. And there's a few times where I ended up bidding on something against someone else, where they bid me up over and over and over again, and then only wanted one bag. So they'd pay over the odds for one bag, and then I'm left, I don't know why I wanted 10 bags or 9 bags or whatever it is, but I don't want to pay that high price for those 9 bags. So it kind of worked against me in some of those cases. I kind of wanted to go over to them and say, can you stop bidding up? If you only want one bag, we'll get them nice and cheap, and then we'll all get them at a nice cheap price. But them's the chances you take when you go to an auction. So thoroughly enjoyed myself, met a few people there, a few people come up and said, oh, I watch your videos, which was nice. Food and drink, all that was on offer there. Yeah, it was a really good time, seemed to be had by all. Definitely recommend it. If you're into that kind of thing, go and check out your fish auction. You will find some bargains, I guarantee. Probably, maybe, you should. Right, I'm just putting all the shrimp away, and I've noticed this new thing that I have to have a moan about. So normally in a shrimp bag, when you're transporting them, you have something in the bag so the shrimp can hold on to them. So some people will put in something like this, which is like a kind of like a spongy material. The shrimp can hold on to that and they don't get sloshed about too much. But for some reason, some people have started putting in like cotton wool. I'm not sure if it's cotton wool, toilet paper, but as soon as you take it out of the bag, it clumps together and traps shrimp in it. So I've been picking shrimp out of it for the last 20 minutes, and I've lost countless because they just get stuck in it, and you have to do it all underwater to try and tease them out of it. Yeah, so I've killed a bunch of shrimp, which is great. So please don't use cotton wool, toilet paper, whatever this is. Use something more robust like this, or ideally just a bit of Java moss or something like that. Yeah, rant over. So the next day, all the fish are in their respective places for now, not their final homes. All the shrimps are in. The ones that survived are doing fine. Really happy with this. I think this is going to look quite good. I'm working on this tank down here to be my next one. None of the fish that I bought at the auction, though, I don't think are going to go in there. I've got the majority of them down here, the plecos and cories and stuff. The cories might go in there, but the plecos are going to go in here. So I'm going to let them grow out a little bit down here before I put them in there, and then see them twice a year. Because I already can't find them down there, so it's going to be even more so in here. But I think that'll be a really cool thing to see when you spend some time looking at here. Just the odd fancy pleco popping out over a rock and then diving away somewhere else. I think that'll look really cool. I'm not breeding them because obviously I've only got one of most of them. There's a few bristle noses in there that they might be a sexed pair. The endlers, I can confirm, it's a male and a female, not just 2 fish. So we'll see what happens with them. Really happy. I can't recommend auctions enough, really. As I said before, make sure you have a plan. Don't do what I did. Not everyone's got loads of spare tanks ready set up, ready for things to go into. So even though I bought 3 Oscars, they're that size, they will within a few weeks be that size and then that size. I have got a big massive tank for them to go into, which is fine. I wanted multiple Oscars. Hopefully I can have multiple Oscars in there. Just make sure you get what you want. They're a fantastic resource because there are people in there who are true hobbyists, that are breeders, who are breeding fish. It's not just all people reselling fish. So you get some expert opinions and things in there. Just be careful, because there are things that are really good deals and then there's things that aren't so great deals. Nothing's a terrible deal, so you should be fine. And also it supports your local club, so can't go wrong there. We need more of these kind of things. If you like this kind of thing, come and see me on a Friday night, 9 PM. We do a live stream every Friday at 9 PM UK time. If not, click that subscribe button and then you'll see my next project, which is setting up a budget-friendly fancy tank. Click subscribe. See you in the next one. Bye!